Hello there everyone joining us around the world. It's the post-game programme. Myself and Danny are still here on the gantry, and Sunderland came through this afternoon getting all 3 points at home against Portsmouth. They didn't have it all their own way though, did they? Especially in that second half, despite Portsmouth going down to 10 men. Yeah,
you think with us getting the goal, what's it, 7 minutes on the clock, we're up and running after the good win against Sheffield United the other night, and then you think, can we go and kick on now? And I've heard a few people saying, would you a bit of a statement result in terms of getting a few goals? And you thought, well, is this going to be the day now? Obviously, Portsmouth have struggled on the road so far, but it wasn't to be. You know, give them credit. They made it awkward for us to set up. We weren't perhaps at our best. A bit loose in the first half, created some sort of half chances in the second half, really. And then obviously towards the end of the game, they made a couple of changes. Obviously, we did as well to try and see the game through. Naturally, you get a little bit edgy. You could hear the crowd weren't happy. We were sitting off. I was saying there, we've got to get the legs going a little bit more. And they almost got 1 or 2 openings towards the end of the game. But it's one of those, it's the old dirty 1-0. It's one at the end of the season. If we do get to where we want to be, you forget about it and you put it to bed, but it's 3 points on the board.
Let's have a look back through the game then here on SFC Live. This is how it went for Sunderland this afternoon. Of course, as Danny alluded to, taking the lead after 7 minutes. But it was mistakes from Portsmouth early on.
Yeah, and mainly the keeper, really, wasn't it? He wasn't great with his feet. You know, that one there, he smashed straight at Meander, I think it is, and then he kicked a few out of play. A few went through to Anthony Patterson at the other end as well. But yeah, you can see, you know, credit to them. I was too sure how were they going to set up, but they pushed on a little bit, the fullbacks, and they were trying to get the ball forward as quick as they could.
In fact, our goal comes from their throw-in.
Yeah, and their throw-in, you see the fullback there, Ogilvy's out now, he's throwing the ball in, and Dan Neil's onto it, into Meander, and then there. See the fullback there, Swanson, maybe a little slow to react, but you know, if you're getting a foot race with either Meander or Isidore, it's going to be difficult. And that's the situation we were looking for when you're playing your 2 strike partners there. You want them combining, and they did a couple of times throughout the afternoon. To be fair,
you thought at this point maybe they'd go on and keep doing it. They kind of picked up where they left off against Sheffield United, didn't they?
Yeah, and that one we've made count early on, as you say. Then we did have 3 or 4 good opportunities from the pair of them throughout the afternoon. Meander's had 2 or 3 good opportunities himself, which we'll obviously get onto in a minute. Patrick Roberts as well coming in off the right hand side, 1 or 2 opportunities and trying to create something, but it was a bit of a frustrating one. And then perhaps Murphy was probably, I must say, that he had their best opportunities in the first half. I think Colby Bishop's had 1 or 2 as well, which he'll be disappointed with the second half. This is the handball shout, isn't it, against Isidore? I'm not sure. Listen, he turns his back on it.
It's outside the area anyway.
Yeah, it's outside, so it would have been a free kick on the D. And then, Patrick now, isn't it? Winger to winger, really. Aushish, lovely ball in. Thought he was at it again. Aushish at times, wasn't he, this afternoon? Busy, trying to make things happen. And then Patrick there, and he just maybe gets ahead of the ball slightly and has to try and adjust his feet. And can't get the power on it he's looking for. But yeah, the longer the game was going on though, and you felt that Portsmouth, you're still going to be in the game. They're going to get 1 or 2. These are the types of situations which we weren't at our best today for me. Long balls, and generally we mop things up. Chris Mepham and Luke O'Nien, even Trey Hume at times. Really, Trey's decent in the air, but we never really seem to dominate in the air with the balls coming forward. And once it drops down and it's a zippy surface, it can cause you problems. Sheesh now, decent strike, wasn't it? He works the opening himself, really, coming off that left-hand side, slows his man up, and then goes again. And decent strike, and say good save from the keeper. And you can see from this angle, I think it is creeping inside that post. But even second half as well, which we'll obviously get onto, Marlon Pack gets sent off. What was on the clock when he got sent off there, if you got it on your notes? 66 minutes. So we're playing 25 minutes plus. With them having a man less, but it didn't look like that in the game, did it? And, something the fans will be watching it, and we were saying it. You'd think at times towards the end, in the last 10 minutes, it felt like we were a man down the way we were sat off and allowing Portsmouth to come on to us, really. Meander, see, he's another one he's had here now, and you fancy him. There's a little bit of contact, but there I still think he's got the opportunity to stay on your feet there and pull the trigger, or you can square it. See from here now, he's corner of the 6-yard box by the time he goes down. And then he's got another one coming up, I think, as well, which I think he fires into the side netting. So he was getting opportunities. There's Wilson now. They play the ball down the line, don't they? I think it's good interception. Is it possibly who steps in there? Luke O'Nien steps in. Dan Neil does really well. Shrugs his first man off, then goes past the Zell. Lovely ball into his path, but I think give the benefit of the doubt to the linesman on this one. Marginally offside. I say marginally, that's how tight it is. I think if it goes to the VAR, you can see he's just possibly offside, isn't he? But a lovely finish again from Wilson. They didn't know at the time, that Portsmouth defenders, that he was offside. This is one now, man. I see striker into there, 2 balls and up the pitch, and that I think that touch there kills him a little bit. He goes away from goal, and then it forces him to go on his right foot. But even then, I still think just, you know, a bit of composure. He sort of snatches at it a little bit.
Should he have played it back across?
Yeah,
the goal?
possibly. Yeah, it's just a firm side foot. Finished only 10 yards out there, just to get a good contact on it and try and pass it into the corner, either corner really, try and do the keeper. And if I am critical, I think we overplayed a little bit today, messed around with it in our own third too much. We weren't direct enough in it. Sometimes, you know, go back to basics in a way. You're playing a 4-4-2, which is generally classed as a basic system, but then use the pace of your strikers down those channels a little bit more. Keep dragging the centre backs out, and obviously we'll get onto Wilson causing a problem for Marlon Pack in a minute when he gets sent off. This was a strange one.
That
you got
Callum Lang leaves it.
It's Callum Lang, and I think is it Colby Bishop as well. So you get 2 strikers back there near post area. I'm not sure what they're doing, why they've left that there. This one, yeah, it does well to get his leg up. I said perhaps go with his head on that one. I think, you know, coming onto it, powerful header there, but he gets the leg up there. Wilson down into the ground and over the crossbar. Patrick had moments as well. Again, he keeps coming in off that right hand side with the left foot, and we're still waiting for him to fire one into this far side netting corner, aren't we? That one there gets blocked, and Dennis gets to the byline now. So Dennis was trying to get forward, trying to get involved as much as he could when he come off the bench as well. Linked up well, and then obviously Alexis as well when he come on.
Yeah.
So
left-hand side.
Yeah, down the left-hand side.
Luke O'Neill put a good shift in, particularly in that second half.
Yeah,
he was
did.
trying
Yeah,
to drive Sunderland forward,
exactly that.
wasn't he?
Yeah, trying to get a bit of tempo into us. You see Dan Neil waving his arms. Come on, boys, get going a bit more. It almost felt like the game was played in second gear from our point of view. See Luke again. He's played the ball out wide. He feeds a lovely ball across here into Patrick, sets it back. And
So close.
Yeah, it's close. It's trying to find its way back into that top corner from Isidore. Hands on his head. Joe behind him, hands on his head as well. And as you say, if that goes in, it's probably a different game, because we probably see the game out, keeping possession really. Then their heads go down. It's 2-0. But when the opposition's always at 1, they're in the game, and here it is now, isn't it? Marlon Pack. You know, we've mentioned him centre midfielder playing at centre half this afternoon. He thinks he's got time there to allow it to run across his body. Doesn't know Wilson Isidore's there, and then he knows. He tries to argue it for 10 seconds or so, doesn't he? I've not touched him, but he knows. And then you're thinking, right, well, come on then, let's go and get the second goal. That one there, we worked it really well. Patrick there does the hard yards into Trey, cut back, and you know, I wouldn't fault Meander on that one. It's a good contact on it, just sort of snapped at it, trying to fire it past the keeper, and I think it's Rob Atkinson off the bench who's there to help his keeper out. But again, we're having we had a 10-minute spell here where we had a lot of ball in their final third, and not put the ball away, not put the game to bed really. And then they made those changes towards the end, and all of a sudden we're on the back foot, aren't we?
Yeah, it's just strange, because by this point they're down to 10 men, but they were the ones who looked like if you were just jumping into the
stadium, yeah, you come in, you think, oh, Sunderland are a man down, aren't they? Yeah, they're on the back foot here, they're hanging on a little bit. You know, a bit of it comes down to lads are probably getting tired towards the end of the game, you know.
These games will come thick and fast.
Yeah.
And you'd imagine there'll be some rotation for the FA Cup next weekend.
Yeah.
So this is really the last real big hurdle for these players.
Yeah, and then they get a break now to the Burnley game on that on the Friday night, isn't it, coming up? Yeah. Good feet from Trey there, decent strike as well. Works a yard, doesn't he? Yeah, looking to bend it into that far corner, just doesn't set it out enough. And then here, I think that one there's a good opportunity with the header. He heads it into the back of Chris Mepham, doesn't he? Lovely ball in from Callum Lang. Yeah, heads it down there. Colby Bishop. Another one here now, sub off the bench, wasn't it? Got the strike away. Just a little nip on it as well, but straight at Anthony Patterson. And then this one, another one, Colby Bishop can't quite get there. You see here now, rolls Luke O'Neill, he's off the back of Chris Mepham. And then on the stretch, another day gets a little touch on that and it's in. So yeah, listen, we've had to ride our luck a little bit towards the end, but we had enough opportunities sort of for a good 20-minute spell in the second half, but one's enough to win it. Clean sheet as well, we haven't had one for a couple of weeks, have we?
Yeah,
I think now, going back a few weeks, I think, yeah, clean
sheet.
So.
Yeah, let's see what it does to the league table then, if we can, because obviously everyone else played yesterday. Sunderland had that game in hand. Well, Sunderland, they knew before a ball was kicked that we couldn't extend our climb, but we could extend the gap from not just 5th place Middlesbrough, but also look at that gap between 7th place Blackburn Rovers now. That's moved to 11 points.
It's pretty much 12, isn't it? Again, goal difference as well.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
Significant, isn't it, Danny?
Yeah. No, it's massive. Yeah, and as you say, it's trying to keep a grasp on the teams just above us, because they've sort of done the results yesterday. Really,
well, we're 3 points off top.
Points, yeah, but we're still right amongst it. We're still. The only concern you'd say there is, we've played Leeds at home, Burnley at home, finished with Sheffield United, Middlesbrough at home, West Brom, so we've got to go away to these grounds, and it's on the road where we have let points drop, and we've had those 4 defeats on the road, haven't we? But on the flip side of that is the onus is on them, really, with them being the home side, to come out, and sometimes now in the setup we're going, if we're going to go with that 4-4-2 in the pace, then we are going to get opportunities as well on the counter-attack. Let's
have a look at how that affects today's visitors, Portsmouth. Well, obviously they didn't get anything from the game. They sit still on 23rd. Sorry, 21st on 23 points. That's what I was looking at. Hull, Cardiff and Plymouth beneath them as it stands. Luton still just hovering above them on 25. Then there's a bit of a gap up to 27 points. That's where Stoke City are, and Derby as well. Yeah, no, it's tight. I think Plymouth, they're still 3 points off it. Goal difference is somewhat behind, isn't it, as well? So you fear for them, really, but the rest of that sort of cluster there, all the way up to Oxford, really. Queen's Park Rangers have pulled our way a little bit recently. You think from Queen's Park Rangers up?
Yeah, they're possibly okay, really, and there's sort of, say, 6 or 7 teams there competing for those 3 places for the drop.
All big sides as well. Okay, then let's have a look at what you've been saying around the world. We've got time for one quick hashtag. There you go. Red My Haddock has been in touch. I know it's early, but Rob Mason is 100% spot on about automatic promotion. Usually I've booked my hotel and flights for the playoffs by now, but not this year. I'm sure we can do it without the lottery of the playoffs. There was a discussion before the game. Is it still a discussion afterwards? The top 2, not to be feared.
Yeah, certainly that. I agree 100%. We mentioned it in the pre-match show. We've played everyone now. We've seen everybody. Nothing to fear when we're at it. When we're on our game, we can more than match everybody. Yeah, there was 1 or 2 saying they've booked hotels for Wembley before. I'd certainly say worst case now you are looking at the playoffs. Still a long way to go unless we have a massive drop-off, and I know we did last season. But I don't see it currently with what we've got. Obviously got 1 or 2 to come out of the treatment room. There's going to be transfer business happening, I'm sure, in the next week or 2 as well. But we're in a good position. As I mentioned it there, we've got to go to these grounds. You've still got to take points off the sides in and around you as well. We'll have 1 or 2 slip-ups, so will the other teams. Leeds, your prime example yesterday, away at Hull, 3-1 up, 20 minutes to go. Everybody thinks that's game done and dusted. Hull got a point from the game, so no, I think we'll go the distance. Automatics, I don't see why not. As I say there, I'm confident as anybody, really. Certainly Rob's mentioned it, so yeah, long way to go, but yeah, I've got confidence in the boys to get the job done, and worst case playoffs.
Okay then, I think that's pretty much it for us here on SAFC Live. The next game Sunderland play is against Stoke in the FA Cup. We're not 100% if we're going to be covering it here on SAFC Live, but we can look forward to the next league game, and that's the following Friday away against Burnley at Turf Moor, of course. We're doing that in the sports bar, as we always do, but we're going to join by some locals on that occasion as well. So if you'd like to come along and you live in the Sunderland area, you can get tickets for that at safc.com. If you don't live in the area and you want to watch it with us, you can also do that by getting your matchday streaming passes right now at safc.com. It's been a busy festive period, but Sunderland are looking good at the end of it. We'll see you soon.